All right, let's talk about a brand new feature from Google Gemini that's designed to solve a problem I think pretty much everyone has. That giant, endless pile of digital documents that we're supposed to read, but let's be honest, never really have the time for.
Does this feel familiar? I mean, just look at your inbox, your desktop, your Google Drive. It's just overflowing with PDFs, right? It feels like you're in a constant battle just to keep your head above water with all that information.
And we're not talking about junk mail here. This is the important stuff. You've got dense contracts, you've got critical market reports, the latest pitch decks from sales, and every single one is demanding your time and your full attention.
Which really brings us to the heart of the problem, this feeling of drowning in digital paperwork. It's kind of the curse of the modern professional, isn't it?
I mean, it all boils down to this one simple conflict. There is always way too much to read, and there is never, ever enough time to read it all carefully. So what are we supposed to do?
Well, Google thinks it has an answer, and it comes in the form of a new feature baked right into Gemini called Audio PDF Summaries.
So what is this thing exactly? Well, instead of you having to slog through every single word of a document, Gemini can now create a conversational, almost podcast-style audio summary for you. You can think of it like getting your own personal briefing on the go.
And this is really the key idea. This is not just a boring computer voice reading to you. The whole point is to make it feel like a smart colleague is giving you the rundown, walking you through the most important parts of a 40-page document while you're driving or making coffee. It's about getting the real context, not just the text.
And honestly, this is a huge leap from the old-school text-to-speech we're all used to. So let's break down how it actually transforms a boring wall of text into a useful conversation.
Come on, we've all been there, right? You try to use one of those old text-to-speech tools, and it's just robotic. It's monotone, and you're completely zoned out after what, 30 seconds? The whole idea here is to create something that sounds human, that's actually engaging enough to keep you focused on what you're listening to.
But it's not just about sounding better, it's about being smarter. The AI here is designed to actually understand the document. It pulls out the main takeaways, it flags things that might be important, like specific clauses in a contract, and maybe, most importantly, it skips all the unnecessary fluff.
So what does this actually mean for your day-to-day work? Well, it's all about boosting your productivity by literally untethering you from your desk.
Okay, just imagine this scenario. You get an email with a 25-page legal agreement attached. The kind of document that could easily eat up a huge chunk of your afternoon just to get through it properly.
But with this tool, that entire 25-page monster gets boiled down into a crisp 4 or 5-minute audio summary. I mean, that is a massive difference in time commitment. It lets you get the gist immediately and then decide if you even need to do a deeper dive. And this is where the magic really happens. You can finally review that vendor contract while you're out walking the dog. You can catch up on that big industry report while you're stuck in traffic. What this really does is transform document review from a sit-down, stationary task into something you can do while you're moving.
All right, so you're probably thinking, okay, this sounds pretty cool. How do I actually use it? Well, the good news is it's incredibly simple. On the desktop version of Google Drive, it's basically 4 simple steps. First, you've got to make sure Gemini is enabled for your workspace account. Then, just open up any PDF. You'll see this little sparkling Gemini icon in the sidebar. Click it, then hit Generate Audio Overview, and just let it do its thing.
Now, let's be real for a second. There are a few catches. For now, it's only on the web, so you can't do this from the Google Drive mobile app. Yet. And, it's still AI. It's not perfect. It might get tripped up on some super technical jargon, or if you feed it a really poorly scanned document. So you should always think of this as a fantastic first pass, not the final word. And all of this brings us to one final, and maybe the most important question. What does a tool like this actually mean for our habits?
I think this quote really hits the nail on the head. We all have that to-read pile, right? That stack of documents we swear we'll get to later. Well, a tool like this completely vaporizes the "I don't have time" excuse.
And just to be super clear, no, this is not going to replace your lawyer for reviewing a critical contract. But what it will do is stop those important documents from just sitting in your inbox collecting digital dust. It is an incredibly powerful filter to get you started.
So I guess the real question it leaves us with is this. When a tool can fundamentally change how you process information and give you back precious hours in your week, what are you going to do with all that time you save?